Welcome to my channel, Comfy Foods by Cass. Today I am making cupcakes, so let's get started. For the cupcakes we need 3 cups of self-raising flour, 250 grams of butter or margarine, 3 large eggs, 3 teaspoons of baking soda or baking powder, a pinch of salt, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, 1 cup of granulated regular sugar, and between 1.5 to 2 cups of milk. It depends on how the texture of your mixture is. Using a baking bowl or dish, let's add in our butter or margarine, and we are going to cream it with an electric cake mixture machine. Now add in your 3 eggs into your creamy butter mixture and mix well. Mix it thoroughly with the machine, and this is how it looks. Now we're going to add in the rest of our ingredients. We're going to add in our 1 cup of sugar. Let's mix the sugar into the mixture. Once it has a pale, creamy texture, add in your 1 teaspoon of vanilla essence and a pinch of salt. And let's mix once again. Using a measuring cup, add in a cup at a time of your self-rising flour and sift it into your mixture. So we're going to do that 3 times for each cup. And when you sift your first cup, add a teaspoon of baking soda or baking powder for each cup that has been sifted. After sifting your first cup of self-raising flour, add your 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and then start sifting the next cup of self-rising flour. So I've just sifted the remaining 2 cups of self-rising flour. So now we're going to mix it all in and add in our milk as the last ingredient for the recipe. So mix well and slowly add in your milk. When it forms ribbons like these, then you know your cupcake batter is ready. Okay, so it takes about 5 to 10 minutes to get it into this consistency. You can also use a wooden spoon, but obviously it's going to take a little bit more longer because you're going to be doing it with your hands and manually. So if you get this type of consistency, where it forms like little ribbon sheets onto the batter, then you know it's done. I used only 1.25 cup of milk, so this recipe has worked out perfectly for me currently because I didn't have to put more milk, so the texture came right for me very quickly. I'm using medium cups for the cupcakes. You get the extra small ones, you get the medium, and then you get the very large ones. That's more like a muffin cup. I'm using the medium one. I've lined it in the cupcake tray, and now I am going to put the cupcake mixture into these cups and bake it for plus minus 8 to 15 minutes on 180 degrees Celsius. According to your heat setting on your oven, you will check to see how quick it becomes done. So that's why I'm saying 8 to 15 minutes. So we're going to use 1.5 spoons of the batter So we fill it just 3/4 of the way so that it has room to rise on its own. So we're going to use 1.5 spoons of the batter. So we fill it just 3/4 of the way so that it has room to rise on its own. If your mixture is a little runny, add in 1/4 to 1/2 cup of self-raising flour extra, and this will sort it out, and then your recipe would be perfect. Because sometimes different butter brands or margarine brands can affect the texture of your cupcake mixture. So there you go. Your cup needs 1.5, and it should glide off your finger and the spoon, and you know then your mixture is perfect. I've already filled up the cupcake cups with the cupcake batter. Now we have to spread it evenly so that you get a nice round mound of cupcakes. We don't want one end to be high and the other end to be low, so just gently use a teaspoon and spread it evenly. Another tip to know that your cupcake batter is right is it has a shiny surface. If you look carefully, it's got a shiny glossy surface, and that's how you know your cupcake mixture is right. I've set the oven to 180 degrees Celsius. It's preheated already, and now we're going to bake it for anywhere between 8 to 15 minutes until it's a light golden brown and it's cooked fully. Now we are going to make the frosting or icing for the cupcakes. We will need 2 cups of icing sugar or confectioner's sugar. We need about 2 tablespoons of butter or margarine, a little milk, add your milk very little at a time because it can get very runny quickly. You can use a hand mixer to mix the frosting, or you can use a wooden spoon. So let's begin. Gently add your milk and beat on a low setting, or else your icing sugar, confectioner's sugar, is going to go all over the place. Mix it all well until it's nice and smooth and creamy. I am adding a 1/4 cup of extra confectioner's sugar because it is not too thick enough for me. It was a little bit on the ribbony side. So add little at a time to get your frosting or icing perfect. So if you use a spoon and drop it, it should form like that. Now the icing or frosting is creamy and not too thin, so it is perfect. So in order to get the beautiful colors, we use food colorings and For the sprinkles, I've got different toppings for it, and my favorite is hundreds and thousands decorative beads. This is how our cupcakes look. It's made about 24 cupcakes. Now we are going to put frosting and sprinkles on the cupcakes. Okay, so we're going to scoop some of the frosting or icing into a bowl. Add some food coloring. You're going to put a very slight drop of it. And then we're going to mix it. Okay, so this gives you the pink color. So mix well. And that's what you do for the rest of the food coloring and frosting mixtures. So a few drops at a time. Remember, you don't want to put too much all at once because it can get very, very dark quickly. And then you have to use lots of frosting to blend it in and get it light once again. So you can take some of the frosting and you're going to spread it around your cupcake. We're going to take some of the sprinkles and sprinkle over the frosting. And that is your cupcake. This is how my cupcakes look once it's completed with sprinkles and frosting. I can't wait to bite into one of them. It's great with tea or coffee or any hot beverage. So if you enjoyed viewing this video on my channel, Comfy Foods by Cass, please like, share and subscribe. Thank you for watching this video. See you next time.